तो रिट्रीट में यही फर्क था. This was the difference, that it was not about making anyone learn something or making anyone improve in some area of their life. It was not about changing somebody. There was no agenda that people need to be any different than whatever they are already. And that it was clear to me that because everywhere we go, I mean, there is an agenda of some sort. I mean, something needs to happen, something needs to change. And and because in this retreat there was nothing that needed to be changed, all that remained was celebration, and which is what we did pretty much non-stop. Pretty much non-stop celebration. पुरुषोत्तम जी, मैं तो हिडन ओएसिस वापस पहुंच गया हूं, देख रहे हो?
Wow.
Yeah.
बढ़िया.
So here we are back at Hidden Oasis. So let me see what this does. Immersive. Okay, next time करेंगे. Okay. Truly a celebration of the spirit, exactly. Truly a celebration of the spirit, because wherever we go, we are told that somehow something needs to be fixed about you, either your some skill or your some part of your nature or some part of your personality that needs to be better, and you need to, somehow change. And so here we went the other way. We went from, and usually by the time the retreat ends, it ends in a celebration usually. By the time it ends, yes, there's an acknowledgement of the inner divine. और हर एक व्यक्ति में ये ऊर्जा जो है, वो शक्ति जो है, उसको हम देखते हैं, समझते हैं और जानते हैं और उसका अनुभव करते हैं, और फिर हम घर चले जाते हैं. And और फिर जब हम मिलते हैं तब जो लास्ट जो कहा था कि यू आर परफेक्ट, यू आर ब्यूटिफुल, यू आर डिवाइन, वो ऐसा लगता है कि वो भूल गए. And we are again starting from ABC, saying कि you have these flaws and this personality and this change and this growth and this blah 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 that you need to do. Right. So and then again, so here the starting point was that you are divine, you are the one, and then knowing that, what are we going to do? And already some new ideas are coming for the next retreat. I don't know when it will be, but new ideas where we want to really pick up where we left off, rather than pick up again from where we started with Neti Neti, but pick up at where we were, which is I am that, and with the Puna Pravesh fully established, and let that be the starting point. So my thought is that the starting point of every retreat should be the end point of the previous retreat. So that each retreat we are moving into higher and higher spaces, deeper and deeper parts of ourselves, and moving into deeper and deeper awareness of our being, and deeper knowledge of how to bring that to this, how to कैसे ये ऊर्जा, ये शक्ति हमारे जीवन में कैसे हर पल आ सकती है. So Amruta is saying, yeah, the day-to-day chores are the same, and yet, let me read what she said. When I'm doing my regular chores and job, I'm facing the similar issues like before, but I'm at peace internally and moreover realizing my responsibility towards my own happiness. Beautiful, beautiful. Very nice. So great. So, but I'm realizing that it's an ये जो प्रबुद्ध जीवन साधना है, enlightened living की जो साधना है, वो unending है. There is no, it's not ever that okay, now that I have understood everything, uh, game over. ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है. Each and every moment there is a possibility of when you're climbing a mountain, when you're going into higher and higher spaces, there is continuously there's a possibility of sliding downwards, back down into the abyss. So so continuous vigilance is required, and how to stay in that space, stay in that space, stay in that space of lovingness. And छोटी छोटी बातों में फर्क पड़ने लगा है लाइफ में, deeper and deeper. So for example, um, uh, like I met my sister yesterday. I'd just gone to bring her some her lunch because her bai didn't show up, so we made lunch for her over here, and then I went to her house to give it to her. And I gave it to her, and then said bye, and she closed the door. I said goodbye and turned around and started walking down the stairs. And I said, here's somebody I truly, I just love. She's one of the closest people in my life. Why didn't I give her a hug to say goodbye? And here we are, at the retreat, we were always in that such a loving space and uh, giving each other hugs. And so I was already like 2 flights down, and I stopped and I said, well, if I'm not going to make this correction and bring back to this now, then when am I supposed to do this? So I went back up and I rang the bell again. And she opened the door and she was like, what happened? I said, I forgot something. So she said she was looking at the tiffin and all that, and she's looking, what did you forget? Did you forget to bring something or take something? Or what did you forget? I said, no, just come here. I forgot to give you a hug. And she was so moved and so touched by that. And so that lovingness, that expressing of love, very much, very much becoming present naturally, and more awareness. That was the main thing. And ये पता बहुत तेजी से और बहुत गहराई से पता चलने लगा है कि ये कहाँ कहाँ हम भूल जाते हैं, कहाँ गिर जाते हैं, कैसे जा रहे हैं. तो so opposite event, sort of, not exactly opposite, but sort of opposite thing happened on the way to the tennis club in the evening. So I was going around a circle driving. I was driving and I was going around a circle. Yeah, Kavita ji says the hug must have been more nourishing than the tiffin. You bet, you bet, you bet. That nourishment, there is no substitute, and everyone loves that nourishment. तो मैं जा रहा था सर्कल को ऐसे राइट टर्न लेते हुए, सॉरी हाँ, लेफ्ट टर्न एंड आई एम मेकिंग अ राइट ऑन द सर्कल, and this small little car between me and the circle just squeezed in, and squeezed in matlab inches away from my door. And I kept going, and I thought now at least they would stop, but they kept going, and he actually passed my car and came in front of me and started driving. And then and my I lost my cool, and I just started beeping. What kind of a driver is this? So aggressive and so you know so rough and so inconsiderate. How can somebody do that? And 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 as I kept I and even as I was pressing the horn, दिमाग में ये चल रहा था, oneness, 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 lovingness, lovingness, lovingness. this could this could be your brother, this could be your mother, this could be your sister, this could be your best friend who is in that car, and here you are trying to, you know, give him the angry treatment. And so he also turned. I turned into one lane, he also turned, and I was now going pretty fast. But by the time I passed him, and he was very scared that I was going, you know, shout at him or do something. And he was in a small car, I was in this big car. तो घबराता हुआ देखा उसने, और मैंने just I waved hi. And he was also, he had this really shocked look on his face. And then we went on. But that's the whole thing. Living. See, unless all this stuff, ये सारी बातें जो हमने अनुभव की है, वो हमारे जीवन में नहीं आती है, तो बहुत कम इसका मतलब है. ओके, 4 दिन हमने यू नो मजा किया, आनंद में रहे, साथ में मिलजुल कर रहे, लेकिन इसकी परछाइयां, इसके पांडे जी किधर गए? वो एको को क्या बोलते हैं? इसकी
ध्वनि,
इसकी
प्रतिध्वनि,
गूंज, इसी
गूंज।
गूंज या प्रतिध्वनि या गूंज, इसकी गूंज जो है, वो जीवन में, the echoes should keep echoing in your life. The echoes of those 4 days must keep coming back, keep coming back. Only then something wonderful has happened. And if we are back in life, so you know, sometimes in our zest to be loving, zest to be you know, so-called enlightened, sometimes we actually go the opposite way. Enlightenment and this seva and all that itself becomes like a wow, मैं तो सेवा कर रहा हूँ, मैं तो अब जागरूक हो गया हूँ, मैं तो enlightened हूँ. And then we forget basic things like how to speak, how to walk, how to talk, how to be loving, how to what should your vocabulary be, you know. So ये जो हम जी लगाते हैं नाम के पीछे, the G is a reminder कि जो सामने है वो उसी का एक अंश है. वो G is a reminder, that suffix G is very important, and it's a reminder that जय हो चित्रा जी के दर्शन हो रहे हैं आज with a video.
Hello, sir.
Hello,
Hi.
जय गुरुदेव.
Jai
Wonderful. तो वो जी जो है, चाहे जी हो या माँ हो या भाई हो, why do we put that we put that as a reminder to ourselves कि ये कोई ये कोई चपरासी नहीं है जिसके साथ हम बात कर रहे हैं। दिव्यता का अंश है, दिव्यता का अंश है, वो रिमाइंडर है सिर्फ। तो अ, ताकि हम भूल न जाए, क्योंकि किसी को जी कह के रूडली बात करना मुश्किल होता है। जी कहेंगे तो आप कहना पड़ेगा, और आप कहेंगे तो उस हिसाब से शब्द निकलेंगे अपने आप। राइट। सो यही यही बात है। सी द जो अहम ब्रह्मास्मि या मैं, आई एम अवेयरनेस का अनुभव अगर करना है, आई एम डिवाइन। दिस इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग पैराडॉक्स विच आई हैव डिस्कवर्ड, कि अगर आपको आई एम, देखिए आपको समझ में आया कि आई एम कॉन्शियसनेस, आई एम अवेयरनेस, आई एम ऑल देयर इज, तो उसको लेकर हम दो दिशा में जा सकते हैं। एक तो अपनी जो पुरानी पैटर्न है ईगो वाली, कि जो मैं, ये शरीर, ये मन, दिस पर्टिकुलर यूनिट, दिस नेम इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड नाउ इट्स नॉट ओनली an engineer and a teacher and a and a doctor or a guru or an engineer or a beauty consultant or a manufacturer or a IT consultant or healer or whatever। उसके साथ साथ अभी ये भी लग गया कि आई एम डिवाइन। तो उसको लेकर ऑलरेडी वी आर, विदाउट दैट इवन वी वर ऑलरेडी इन अ स्टेट ऑफ मैं कुछ हूं, मैं और मेरा क्या कहना। उसमें हम लगे थे, और अभी जाके किसी ने बता दिया हिडन ओएसिस में कि तुम सिर्फ वो नहीं हो, तुम तो वो हो। तो उस बात को लेकर हम बिल्कुल उस दिशा में जा सकते हैं, कि मैं वो हूँ, मैं तो वो हूँ। अरे बाप रे, एक कहानी याद आ रही है। आ, वो, हाँ वो होता है ना, प्रोसेशन प्रोसेशन होता है, गांव में प्रोसेशन लेके निकलते हैं। तो एक मूर्ति को, भगवान की मूर्ति को लेकर गांव में ले जाते हैं, और जो भी उस मूर्ति को देखता है बिल्कुल प्रेम और रिस्पेक्ट से देखता है और उसको नमन करता है, प्रणाम करता है, साष्टांग प्रणाम करता है। जहां भी मूर्ति दिखाई देती है, लोग रास्ते के ऊपर ही उसको ये आदर दे रहे हैं। और अभी हुआ क्या कि ये जो मूर्ति थी थोड़ी सी भारे थी, हैवी। तो उसको सब जगह ले जाने के लिए उठाना मुश्किल था, तो एक गधा था उसके ऊपर रखा हुआ था। और गधे गधे को चला कर ले जा रहे थे। और ये गधा देख रहा है कि जहां भी मैं पैर रखता हूँ, लोग तो मुझे वाह 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 नमन कर रहे हैं, प्रणाम कर रहे हैं, मेरे सामने ऐसे सर झुका के खड़े हैं। और प्रिटी सून गधे को यही लगा कि मैं तो कुछ हूं भैया, मेरे क्या कहने। ये भूलते हुए कि ये जो मूर्ति जो मेरे ऊपर जो चल रही है, उसी का ये प्रताप है। तो कुछ ये भी हो जाता है कि ये अगर हम समझ गए कि हम, विच इज ट्रू, आई एम दैट, यू आर डिवाइन। बट द पैराडॉक्स समझते हैं ना सोनल? पैराडॉक्स याद है ना? पैराडॉक्स यानी जो लगता है वो है नहीं, और जो है वो लगता नहीं। ये पैराडॉक्स है। और एक तरफ से देखे तो ऐसा लगता है और दूसरी तरफ से देखो तो बिल्कुल विपरीत लगता है। यही है पैराडॉक्स, और दोनों बातें सच है, ये पैराडॉक्स है। तो एक तरफ से पैराडॉक्स ये है दैट आई एम दैट डिवाइन, बट if you want to experience that, if you want to experience divine, it is very difficult to experience that divine by looking in the mirror, looking at yourself. By looking at yourself, it is hard to see divine. It is difficult because the divine is, you have so many layers of your own personality, your knowledge, your opinions, your everything. वो ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं है। अपने आप को देखेंगे अगर और डिवाइन देखना चाहेंगे, और एहसास भी शायद होगा और दिमाग में आएगा आई एम डिवाइन, तो वो ज्यादा और ज्यादा वो गधे वाली बात हो जाएगी कि आईने में देखकर वाह मैं तो डिवाइन। इट्स नॉट दैट वे। द ओनली वे टू एक्सपीरियंस डिवाइन is to see the divine in others. Seeing divine in others is the only way to experience divine. You can know divine in many ways. You can know divine in many ways, through thought, through experience, through meditation, through contemplation, through all of this. So knowing divine and understanding divine is possible and easy. But if you wish to experience divine, the easiest and the most available way is to see that in others. When you see it in others, because see, उनके जो layers है, उनके जो भी whatever their opinions, their ego, their things that get in the way, you know nothing about. You have very little knowledge of all of those things that covers them. So for you, there is only a transparent being, clearly visible, clearly experienceable. That is step number one. Step number two is being with them, knowing that they are divine, speaking to them as if they are divine. When you listen to them, listen as if divine is speaking, divinity is speaking, awareness is speaking through that body, through that person in front of you. When that awareness of the other person's divinity becomes so easy to see, that is when the experience of divine is available everywhere and anywhere and in all things, all people. So ये पैराडॉक्स है। पैराडॉक्स इसलिए है कि the divine lives everywhere including in you. बट अगर उनको मिलना है तो और घर में जाना पड़ेगा। मिलना है तो उनको विजिट कहीं भी चारों ओर। So when we remember this, when we understand this, then automatically our language becomes softer. Our language becomes more polite, more loving. And when your language becomes more loving and more polite, it's a very funny thing. ये एक दूसरे को जैसे mutually reinforcing कहते हैं। जितनी आपकी जुबान मीठी है, उतना मिठास आपको अनुभव होगा, उतना टेस्ट आपको मिलेगा, of sweetness. और जितना sweetness का अनुभव आपको मिलेगा, उतनी ही आपकी जुबान sweet होगी, और sweet, और sweet. So it's a mutually reinforcing system. So, and how we can do that? How we can do that? See, this is also very interesting. कि आपका मीठे होने में जाता क्या है? मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ. What goes of your father? वो हिंदी में बोलता है तो थोड़ा गाली जैसा लगता है. अरे तुम्हारे बाप का क्या जाता है मीठे बन में? But in English it doesn't sound so bad. What goes of your father if you're sweet? हर कोई सोचता है कि what goes of your father if you're sweet? Nothing goes. And how do we reach that state that nothing goes? See, this is how it is. So, when I see that I am that, जब मैं देखता हूं अपने आप को कि मैं वही हूं, मैं पूर्ण हूं, मुझे किसी चीज, वस्तु, परिस्थिति की आवश्यकता नहीं है, मैं जहां भी हूं पूर्ण हूं, मैं जैसा भी हूं पूर्ण हूं, हर एक परिस्थिति में, हर एक अवस्था में. अगर ये देखिए, पहले आपने अपने आप में देखा, all that I am really that experiencer, and then you see that ये जो अनुभव करने वाली ऊर्जा जो मैं हूं असल में, उसको किसी चीज, वस्तु, परिस्थिति, व्यक्ति की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि वो अपने आप में परिपूर्ण है. You are complete and sufficient into yourself. You are your love itself. What else do you want? तो अभी ये जब पता चल गया कि मुझे आई एम फाइन, देन सामने वाले से मिठास से पेश आने में what goes of your father? See, when do we lose our cool? When do we lose our cool? When we think we have to get something from this person. They are not doing something that I want them to do. They are not giving me something. They are not telling me something. They are not being a certain way. When we want them to be different because we want to fill our bucket, then जाके देख लेते हैं सब कुछ जो भी करना है, जबान मीठी से होकर, नॉर्मल से होकर कड़वी भी हो जाती है, क्योंकि मुझे कुछ चाहिए, मुझे कुछ पाना है, मुझे कुछ सामने वाले से अगर पाना ही नहीं है, मैं परिपूर्ण हूं. अगर मैं परिपूर्ण हूं तो मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए. तो अब फिर लाइक चित्रा, यू हैड रिटन सो ब्यूटिफुली, आई डोंट हैव टू लव एनीवन, आई डोंट हैव टू हेट एनीवन. How does that state happen? That state happens only when you don't need anything. Then you know, if you need something, then you have to love somebody. And if you want to get rid of something, then you have to hate somebody. But if you don't need anything, you're fine as you are, complete, happy, joyous, beautiful, then you don't need anything. Then you don't need anything. And when you don't need anything, you don't have to either love or you don't have to hate. That means जो natural आपकी जुबान है, वो अपने आप sweet हो जाती है. And this is another beautiful paradox. कि अपने आप में जब देवत्व देखा, तब जाकर ये मीठी जुबान अपने आप आ जाती है. मेरी वोकैबुलरी भी मैं जानबूझकर मतलब उन शब्दों का इस्तेमाल करता हूं जो मेरे आदत में नहीं थी अभी तक. मैं जगह जगह पे जाकर अभी लोगों को कहता हूं माय लव, जान, मेरा जान, मेरा यार, मेरा प्यार. I mean, Manjo sent me a message. He was on the Satsang and he sent a message ki, मेरा गला जो खराब है, he said, put a muffler and take this medicine. And he said, I'll send with somebody this Ayurvedic and this and that and that. And normally I would have such as, sure, Manjo, thank you. And instead, automatically, when I started typing, the words came out. It just came. I said, thank you, my love. And it just came. And when it came, I really felt that. And he was also touched. I could just tell. So, उदार बन जाइए इन शब्दों से. What goes of your father? उदार बन जाइए शब्दों के साथ. Generosity of spirit. The generosity of the spirit will come from the generosity of the words. Dikra, beta, जिमखाना में जब the waiter आता है, एक पानी का ग्लास चाहिए तो यार पानी का ग्लास लाना, बोलने की जगह में बेटा एक ग्लास पानी देना. Big shift. It's so trivial and so simple. And it's a unfortunate part of our Indian culture that we don't use these words too much, as much as they do in the West. In the West, these words are much more prevalent, much more part of normal vocabulary. What would you like for dinner, darling? I mean, this is the normal communication between a husband and wife. Good morning, honey, when you walk in the door. Hi, honey. Or as you walk in the door, hi, honey, I'm home. अब ये honey की जो मधुरता है वो कहाँ मिलेगी? So ये हनी वाली मधुरता को लाइए आपके जीवन में, आपके शब्दों में, और ऑटोमेटिकली देवत्व दिखता है, ऑटोमेटिकली देवत्व का अनुभव होता है सामने में, आगे में, जो भी आपके साथ है.
May I speak, Sanjiv ji?
Yes, Kavita ji.
I would like to contradict this concept because foreign में I love you बहुत artificial लगता है मेरे को. हम लोग यहाँ माँ बच्चे भी एक दूसरे को love you नहीं करते, पर बहुत प्यार होता है. Husband wife भी साथ जन्म का बोलते, they live. But there is a little artificiality in that. When these foreigners, they all the time honey and love you and hugging. अपना bring up होता है. My mother really loved us, but हम लोग इतना ज़्यादा hugging नहीं करते थे, but we loved from the soul factor.
Of course.
हमारे culture में नहीं है. It's there steady and it's true. And this what they do in West, I mean, वहाँ पे thank you नहीं बोलो तो they think you are very ill-mannered. हमारे में we take it for granted also, everybody is helpful in telling you direction of the road here in India. There if you ask, they will look at you, read that sign. Why are you asking me?
No, आपकी बात सही है. What you're saying is true. If it is done artificially.
एक साधापन और सत्यता है. All the time you don't say I love you and this.
No. You don't make it into a rata popat wala I love
Sanjiv ji, even I would like to say something. Kavita ji, for example, मैं जिस family से आती हूँ, I think I have hugged my father just like once or twice in my life.
There you go. Father is also present, Pawan ji. Yeah.
So when I married my husband, we all family hug each other the way like anything.
Yeah.
And we see the difference. There is one little drawback, India mein especially. For example, I was asking somebody ki, hey, you have to send me your book. The person had himself written a book. So मुझे आया नहीं. I have been expecting the book since long time. So he said that he'll be sending it in 1 or 2 days. So I felt like telling him, thanks, love. But
Right.
I refrained myself because, you know,
Right.
he might
Right.
get
You
it
don't want to. You don't want to be misinterpreted either.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So we hold ourselves back, but of course, saying love, hugging everybody is so amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think because I
Absolutely.
come from that kind of a family where we don't.
Yeah. No, so I'll tell you, Kavita ji, you know, I lived in the US for almost 27 years, okay, so I have a lot of experience with that culture. And even though they may not actually be consciously thinking honey or darling or love whenever they say love, because it's become part of their vocabulary, it makes the atmosphere and the conversation so pleasant and so much more. And of course, if it's artificial, and I'll tell you why it sounds artificial, especially to our ears. It sounds artificial to our ears because it is foreign to our ears. We have grown up not hearing this kind of stuff. हमने सुना ही नहीं है. वहाँ natural है. And you know, being courteous is a very you know, it's a way of expressing. It's a way of expressing that I respect you, I honor you, I don't not care about you. For example, यहाँ पे in the US, if you walk through a door and there's somebody behind you, you will never leave the door until that person also comes out. You won't just let go of the door and the door shuts in there on them and they have to open it again. कोई ऐसा नहीं करेगा यूएसए में. It's an acknowledgement that I see you, I know you're there. यहाँ पर पता भी नहीं है कौन है, पीछे आया तो आया, नहीं आया तो भाड़ में जाए, मेरा क्या है, मैं तो जा रहा हूँ. Even though we may not be consciously thinking that way either. So while I agree with you that जरूरी नहीं है कि आप ये सब कहो, जरूरी नहीं है, but कहेंगे तो what goes of your father?
True.
Yeah.
Two facets to the same.
Two facets to it. What do you lose? You don't lose anything. You get a chance to express it. You get a chance to feel it. And so, and I'll tell you also that a lot of the ideas that the East carries about the West, that people don't care about each other, and all those, I have not seen that at all. I mean, my 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 ex-wife, who was American, my ex-wife was American, and she, when her parents fell ill, they lived with us. You know, she set up a bed for them in the house and took so much care of them. And yet, there would be a certain, you know, a certain amount of awareness that it should not take away from the rest of the house or the children or me, and making sure that, okay, mom, you know, this Saturday we are going to go out for dinner. Is that okay? और छोड़ के भी जाते थे कभी कभी. And she would be also okay, and the mother would also say, sure, you guys haven't been out and blah blah blah, go ahead. What I'm saying is, I've seen people really taking care of each other, and sometimes when it is necessary, yes, they put them in an old age home and all that, but that doesn't mean that it is not coming out of love. It's just something that works over there in that culture. You know, both the husband and wife are working, the kids are out in school, the person is much more comfortable not in that kind of a space where they are taken care of by professionals, and
to their children also as young adults.
They treat their children with respect. It's a lot of respect.
To them, yeah. They don't talk down to them.
They don't talk down to their kids. You could be 5 years old,
they give them
and
respect.
No, you respect them. If you, oh darling, you really don't want that, you don't want to do that, okay, let's figure something out. It's So I think I always say East and West में जो भी अच्छाइयाँ हैं दोनों की अच्छाइयाँ ग्रहण करो. Why do we have to divide the world into, oh, this is Western, so we shouldn't adopt it, and this is our culture, and we should stick to it?
Yeah,
कोई
and what
जरूरी
you
नहीं है.
spoke
It's all
about
part of the
G,
human culture. हाँ.
what you spoke about G really struck me, because addressing each other as G, it improves our thinking and speech and attitude.
Exactly.
I was not into this culture. Today I learnt about it.
Absolutely.
Yes, G se bolo, it changes your whole perspective.
Changes your whole perspective.
Yeah.
Same thing with love. It's my love, honey, darling, dear, Jaan, सब कुछ. Already the world is so full of bitterness. The world is so full of, so many things. This is so easy and simple, in which nothing goes off our father. तो डाल दो, जी भर के भर दो इसमें, भर दो मिठाई, मीठापन से. So beautiful. And the thing is that it's, like I said, it's a beautiful paradox that the more sweetness you fill into your language, into your vocabulary, the more you feel that sweetness. And the more sweetness you feel, the more in touch you become with your own divine self. And the more you are in touch with your own divine self, the sweetness automatically and naturally flows out of you into your language, into your words, into your action, into your, everything. It just happens naturally. So it's
ये
a mutually.
अमिताभ बच्चन भी करता है, जी 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 जी, छोटा बच्चा भी होगा
बिल्कुल
he is always respectful towards whoever he's interviewing or whatever.
बिल्कुल. And we can do it even with a deeper perspective than, I don't know about Amitabh Bachchan internal conversation, but I'm saying that even if it's a little kid, that kid is also nothing but a a small young manifestation of divine. And why would I not see that in that kid also and give that respect and that love?
And maybe a much more older soul than us. We don't know.
Exactly. And whether that or not, certainly a part of the divine. Certainly that, just like you and just like me. So we don't need to edit all that out. In fact, we need to start practicing it. India में ये जितना ज़्यादा आएगा, the thank you, the please, the the sorry.
Yeah, I mean, even to the watchman and all, bhaji wala, we can just do G.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful thing.
Respect, yeah.
And thank you, and even to the the waiter in the restaurant or in the club or whatever, the person brings you something, have the courtesy to say thank you.
I always thank the fellow who comes to collect the garbage.
Yeah.
So once I said, bell baji kaun hai? I said kachre wala. So my daughter saying, you are kachre wala, he is safai wala.
Beautiful. What a nice thought. Exactly. कचरा तो आपने create किया है.
कचरे वाला से सफाई वाला, कचरा
सफाई वाला है. Such a beautiful shift in perspective. Very nice. So great. So sweet and. Yes.
I want to ask something.
Meera and then Jennifer ji. Okay, go ahead. Your volume is still very low. I'm not able to hear you. Maybe bring the phone close to you and try.
Yes, okay.
No, I was asking. Okay, never mind. Go ahead, Meera.
Yeah, I want to continue with Kavita ji's talk. For years, I had a habit of saying Rani to everybody, Rani,
Okay.
Rani. And then one fine day, I told Rani to someone, thank you, Rani. She fired me left, right, and center. She said, how dare you call me Rani? So after that, I've stopped that word Rani. Otherwise, to everybody, even if I would tell you also.
Yeah.
That mouth. So I had that vocabulary. Then after that, I think this was 4 years back. Yes, someone told me, how dare you call me Rani? You cannot say like these words to me. You don't know me, and please don't call me Rani. Oh, I got so shocked hearing this.
Yeah,
I said in my language it is there. So then what to do? And then now, suppose if I face again this situation. So yes, I like that idea that we must do because it is going to help us also. Now,
when I was working somebody came to me and said, "Hey, do dearie, do this." I said, "Don't dearie me." Why are
Correct,
you
correct.
dearie?
See,
I
there
also
is
reacted.
no, I agree. See, there's
Like
some
familiarity or whatever. I said,
correct,
"ये
correct.
क्यों चापलूसी कर रही है ऐसे?"
Exactly. See, that's something patronizing. It's patronizing to say Rani to somebody. It's patronizing. It's like you're giving me a padvi without really knowing what or who I am. But we certainly know that no matter who you are love. So words which imply love, nobody will object to. If you put somebody on a pedestal, Rani bana diya, they may object because it's patronizing. It's patronizing to call somebody Rani, Raja, because it's a little bit manipulative. Because मैंने आपको यहाँ सर पे चढ़ा रखा है क्योंकि मुझे कुछ तो शायद चाहिए मेरे पास से, या फिर आप मुझे मतलब false praise कर रहे हैं. But if you say beta or love or Jan, or depending on who you are, like this waiter ko beta keh diya, to nobody has any problem. Of course, I mean the age thing you have to see. If it's somebody older than you, and you say beta ho gaya, dimag kya ho gaya isko. So that way. So Rani is not necessarily universal, Meera ji. Is not, because, and I can see somebody having an objection to that. So you have to choose the vocabulary which is talking love, not talking some kind of a, just respect or just some kind of a pedestal. वो वाला नहीं है. प्यार से जो आता है.
And if she
Got it.
calls her maid Rani and all, it may look like
Exactly.
anti
Exactly. It is a condescending. It's condescending. आपके घर में कोई सफाई करने आ रहा है या काम कर रहा है, उसको रानी रानी कहोगे. It's condescending. It's insulting to that person's self-respect. So, but उसी maid को जी कहोगे, no problem. उसको छोटी है तो बेटा कहोगे, no problem. So that way. So I think that was, yeah, great.
दादा भैया दीदी भाई
Sorry?
साहब
भाई
दादा
साहब, हाँ.
भाई
दादा,
साहब
हाँ, दादा बड़े हैं आपसे तो दादा, या
बहन जी
या भाई साहब, भैया, yeah, all of that. So yeah, as long as it is an expression of love. सफाई वाले का नाम ही राजा है, फिर उसको तो राजा बुलाना प्लीज. उसको राजा जी बना दो. सोनल राजा जी. So, but regardless of that title, the words, it's the love, expressing that love, bringing that love forward. So practice that more and more, and you will see that you will experience it more and more. Great. Jennifer ji, you had something you wanted to ask or say.
I wanted to tell you, Meera wanted to say something.
Okay.
But Sanjivji, I have a question.
Yes.
When you always call everybody with love and beta and ye wo, so there are times जिस पे गुस्सा होना चाहिए उस पे भी नहीं आता, and then that person comes in front of you, अरे मुझे तो गुस्सा करना है, निकल ही नहीं रहा, आ ही नहीं रहा. So that also becomes a challenge because you have to set things right sometimes, but it doesn't happen. गुस्सा खत्म हो गया.
No. See, doing something firmly or saying something firmly, and मतलब ये करना ही है बेटा, ये तो करना ही है तुझे. Whatever it
नहीं हो
is.
पाता because
नहीं, तुझे करना ही है बेटा. तू ये गाड़ी ठीक से क्यों साफ नहीं करता है? ये नहीं चलेगा बेटा. ठीक है? So you can set down boundaries. It doesn't mean it cannot be done with love. And you can get upset also. You can get angry also. There's nothing that says you can only be, calm and quiet and subdued. वैसी जरूरी नहीं है. But I think your anger with this kind of vocabulary will actually be more effective, because ultimately your purpose is to have a pleasant interaction, is more important at the end of the day. And with that pleasant interaction, you're more likely to get the results than simply spewing venom. Spewing venom से कोई काम आगे नहीं बढ़ता. Even if you have to be strong, even if you have to be firm, like what was it? There was a Saint Augustine करके एक saint है. Maybe Amrita knows or heard about him. Saint Augustine. One of Saint Augustine's most famous lines is love and then do whatever you want. Love and do whatever you want. So as long as that is there, then do whatever you want. There was a interesting question from, oh my God, it's already 9:11. Okay, but maybe we'll take it up. Remind me on Saturday. But even more tougher question than what you are asking right now, Anamika. Apne Colonel Saab ne mujhe, he had this question for me in a one-on-one session. कि हम बात कर रहे हैं प्यार की, लव की, मिठास की, ये सब वो सब, लेकिन यार मेरे सामने अगर एक पाकिस्तानी सोल्जर बंदूक लेके खड़ा है तो मैं तो उसे उड़ा ही दूंगा. So how do you reconcile these two things? You are तो only talking about just इधर छोटी मोटी बात पे गुस्सा हो गई, ये हो गई, ये किसी को जान लेने की बात कर रहे थे. So that contrast is even more. So think about this one for our next session. Wonderful. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. May the divine live and express itself in all your thoughts, in all your words, in all your actions. May you express divinity and may you experience divinity in all life, in all beings, in all interactions, in all moments of your life. And may that knowledge spread to more and more and more people. Thank you, my loves. Thank you so much. All my loving. Okay.